When the flash hit you, you could see the x-rays of your hands through your closed eyes.
They say the government exists to protect us. But what if I told you there was a time when that protection came at a horrifying cost, a cost measured in human remains? During the height of the Cold War, the fear of nuclear annihilation pushed humanity to extremes. And in the shadows of this fear, a chilling program was born. Officially, it was called Project Sunshine, a study to measure the effects of nuclear fallout. But unofficially, it was a macabre and sinister operation that involved some of the darkest secrets ever unearthed. To understand the story, we have to go back to 1953. Nuclear tests were being conducted across the globe. Governments wanted answers. What happens to the human body after exposure to radiation? But how do you run experiments like that? The answer was horrifying. Under the guise of scientific research, researchers began collecting tissue samples. But these weren't just any samples. They took them from the recently deceased, without the knowledge or consent of families. Entire body parts were stolen, bones, skin, even organs, all to study the effects of radioactive isotopes. And the most horrifying part, they targeted children and infants. Why? Because their developing bones absorbed radiation more rapidly. Families buried their loved ones, unaware that the bodies had been tampered with. Parents who had lost their babies were never told that pieces of their children were being used in government experiments. It wasn't just one country. Project Sunshine involved international cooperation. Samples were harvested from across continents, stolen from hospitals, morgues, and graveyards, all under the cloak of secrecy. In 1995, the truth finally began to unravel. Declassified documents revealed the extent of this grotesque experiment. The public was outraged, but the question remains, how much of this story is still hidden? Some believe that even today, experiments like this continue under different names in different forms. Project Sunshine was meant to illuminate the dangers of nuclear war, but what it really revealed was the darkness of human nature. So, I'll leave you with this. If they could do this to the most vulnerable among us and hide it for decades, what else could they be hiding right now? What secrets might they be taking to the grave?